The purpose of this orientation meeting is direct feedback from parents. Last year, we got a lot of feedback that said, oh my gosh, if I would have just known how to check the grades online, or if I just knew how to see updates in the calendar, I would have been so much better informed. So the purpose of this is to really inform families on the rules, policies, and procedures, and to open up the communication lines between the parents and the school. Okay? Also, we want to inform you on what you should expect from us as staff. Okay? You should know what we're saying we're going to do for you. All right? And also, we want you to know what we expect from you. Okay? Education is a four-part game here. Parents, teachers, the school, and the student. All right? Tonight, we are trying to set up and make sure that the parents and the school part of it are functioning properly. Okay? The teacher's still got to teach, and the kids still got to put forth the effort to learn. But if we can make sure the structure of the school is sound and the parents can be team players on education, it's going to help your kids this year. Okay? Communication. Ways to communicate. Okay. The phone number, 838-1243. This is by far the best way to communicate during a school day. You need to call up and let someone know something. Teachers do not check email during school. They're usually not checking their cell phone. If you need to call during the day, please call. Okay? The school is getting a new voice over IP system, and we are in the process of installing it. It's the same company that's doing our security system. It's a long process. They got to change everything. But when it's done, it's going to be done in about a month or two. It's going to give individual voicemails for every single member of the school. Right now, we can't leave a teacher a voicemail through the school's phone number, but you'll have a very good voice prompt system, and it's going to really help us, the phone communication, get a lot better. Okay? Teacher preferences. Learn the best way to communicate with each teacher. Some teachers are going to be right on top of emails, emailing back every 5 minutes. Some teachers, it works better to come in and see them face to face. Okay? So learn the best way to communicate with your teacher. Ask them. Okay? Email. We are really stressing that we want to direct most, if not all, communication through email this year. Email has a record of it, So Stacy hands me a Post-it note in the hallway, and I'm passing, and if I lose it, I don't remember what she asked me to do or say, okay? We are going to be communicating on email through our website, through www.woltz.org. We totally redid our website. If you have not been there in the last year, you need to go there. There's tons of resources. That's where you're going to learn most of the information you need to know. We are committing to respond to email communication within 1 business day. Now, if you ask a teacher, please tell me how my kid's doing in every one of his subjects, and it's Tuesday, they may communicate and let you know on that Wednesday, I'm going to be getting back to you on Friday when I have my office time. Okay, so that might be the whole extent of the communication, but we will be communicating within 1 day. If it's just you want to know how something's going, send them an email. If it's a really important thing, don't just try one method. Send an email, call the school, stop by and see the teacher. Okay? Try multiple methods of communication. Open door policy. We have an open door policy at the school. Okay? So you are always allowed to walk in and talk to me, talk to Mr. Apier, talk to Mr. Adams, or any of your teachers. Okay? And I wrote on here, ignorance is bliss. Many times parents don't speak their mind because they assume the other parents have already told the principal something or already told one of the administrators something. Oftentimes, we don't know unless you tell us. Okay? So this is our website, the front of the website. So now I'm going to quickly go over how you will send an email to a teacher or how you will send an email to a staff member, okay? Right here on the right-hand side, contact us, okay? This will pull a drop-down bar, and we will have a tab for teachers here that will pull all the teachers up. If you were to go to Mr. Apier right here and click on it, it's going to pull up this page. This is a way to send a teacher an email to their email preference, okay? So some teachers will have it sent right to their private email because they check it every day. Okay, so you fill out your name, email, phone number, comments. You just click send message. It's going to automatically generate a message to his email, okay? Poor types of communication. All right, right when you drop off or pick up your kid is one of the worst times to tell a teacher something, okay? It's their busiest time of the day usually, okay? So if you really have something important you want to say, please try to bear that in mind that that's not the best time to talk to a teacher. A text message or voicemail without identifying yourself. I can't tell you how often I get this text message or voicemail. Rob, things are a little tight. I can't, we're going to be a couple days late on the tuition this month. Just can you hold my payment a day or two? Thanks, goodbye. I have no idea who to hold the payment for, okay? So please identify yourself fully. Leave your contact information. Even though we have it, sometimes it's a pain going to the file or going to a computer to look up your email, your phone number. Leave your contact information if you leave us a voicemail, please. Handwritten message on the back of a Post-it note or your Verizon bill is not good, okay? So this is the same thing of trying to direct you through the website so we can communicate that way. It's really going to help us be able to not miss things, okay? And if we do give out our phone number, please do not abuse that. I am now married, and my wife has informed me I'm no longer answering my phone at 8, 9, 10, and 3 in the morning. So, even though most of you have my cell phone number, and I give it out on my business card, you're fine calling it, but just be mindful to that, please. Okay, the newsletter is one of the main ways we communicate to you. Okay? During the year, expect to receive a newsletter every single Thursday. This is one of the major and most important ways we communicate with you about what's going on in the school. Please take the time to read the newsletter each week. I know sometimes it doesn't change that much from week to week, but what always happens is a parent comes to me and says, I did not know the field trip got moved. And we say, it's been in the last 3 newsletters that it got moved. It's been big, bold, highlighted things with red, okay? There's no better way we can put it out, and we send it in an email. It isn't easy for us to pick up a phone and call 150 families, okay? That takes like a whole day. So the times we called you all, it took a whole day for one staff member to do. And he's leaving like 75 voicemails. So the best way for us to do mass communication is by email and newsletter. A hard copy will go home with every elementary student. We tried sending it home with middle and high school, and none ever get to the parent. So hard copy goes home with elementary on Thursday. The email goes to everyone with the newsletter. The email will come from Lisa. If you do not receive the email, please check your spam folder. This is what the newsletter looks like. It's going to change slightly from time to time, but this is what you should be looking at, okay? Please throw away all your previous calendars. This is really important, okay? Throw them away. If you have one in your fridge, make sure you get home and throw it away. The one you have is the most up-to-date and accurate one, okay? So please, if you have an old one, throw it away. For some reason, the first time we put out had this on Wednesday night. We would have never done it. You know, we make errors too, okay? So we had it on a Wednesday night. We changed it to Thursday night 3 months ago, and still some people showed up yesterday, okay? Even though it's been right on the website for 3 months. Okay. If there is a change in the calendar, big change, we'll always email that change, okay? If we move the day of the Christmas banquet or if we do something, we will email you out the change. Now, we're asking you, if you are a technology person, to please sync your calendar with your phone. I'm going to go through how to do that in a second. It's really helpful because as soon as we have a change, we change it online, it'll instantly show up on your phone and you'll know, even if it's a small change. Or we also have more details on the calendar on our phone, like the directions to a football game or things like that, okay? So, if you want to sync the calendar on your phone, back from the website here, you are going to click on the calendar section right here, okay? From here, you can always see the most accurate and up-to-date calendar. So, under Walt's main calendar, which is right here, it would then scroll down and you will see today, look, parent orientation, 7 p.m. Tomorrow's our international student orientation. If you're wanting to get it on your phone, you go down here to the bottom where it says Google Calendar. You see that? If you click on that, it's going to take you to Google. If you have a Gmail, anyone who has an Android phone already has this, and iPhones can get it too, okay? All you have to do is put your username and password here, or if you don't have it, you sign up. So for this purpose, let's go to the sign up. When you sign up, all you got to do is just put your name, first name, last name, and you can create it's going to make you create an email address, but you can just be one you never check. You're just creating it to have the Google thing so you can get it on your phone or you can get the calendar on your computer. So once you're signed in, it's going to say, do you want to add this calendar? You're going to simply say, yes, add this calendar, and instantly on your phone or whatever, you will start seeing these meeting things come up. So, other calendars I want to tell you about. Our church calendar. Okay, it's right there on the same part of the website. All right, you can see our church calendar. This says all of our service times. It has our service times for South, North Campus, our Ground Zero. There could be a Wednesday where we don't have Ground Zero. We're having some big party or something. So if you want to know anything about our church service times, what's going on with our church, you can check it out in the church calendar. We have a new, am I right about this, Thursday night group encounter? Okay, we have a new Thursday night group, a Saturday night service, right? And, of course, Sunday services and Wednesday support groups. We also have the sports calendar. So if you have an elementary kid and you don't want to have the sports calendar, we make it separate so you can have the school calendar without it. But if you're a middle and high school parent or kid, please add the sports calendar as well. It's going to have all the things about our football, volleyball games, away games. So let's say you don't remember where the volleyball game is and you want to know and you can't get a hold of anyone at the school because it's after hours. You could go on here, click volleyball away at Central Christian, click on that, and it's going to take you up to a page with the driving directions, the address, and the time of the game. Okay? We will do our best to keep that updated. Sports schedules tend to change a lot, okay? But we will do our best to keep that updated. Staff expectations are totally shifting focus here. This is what you can expect from us this year as a staff. We will be courteous to you and treat with your respect. If you get disrespected from a staff member, me, Mr. AP, or Mr. Adams want to know about it. We will respond to communication by the end of the next business day. We will work hard to educate your student and do our best to help your child grow in mind, body, and spirit. It's our responsibilities to communicate the academic and behavioral matters to the parents. Okay? Therefore, there should be no surprises when it comes to grade card time. If you've ever had a surprise at the end of 9 weeks, we are sorry. We are committing to not do that this year. Now, I can tell you this. If you never check your kids' grades online, you don't read the calendar, you don't pay attention to our emails, and you don't respond to teachers when they write things in your kid's agenda or in your kid's folder, then guess what? You are going to be surprised at grade card time, okay? Because we can try as hard as we can, but if you're not willing to listen and do the things that we've set up, multiple paths of communication, then you are going to be surprised. We're going to work really hard this year to really put forth the best school that we can. We really commit to that. Rules and policies, shifting focus again. You can find your rules in the student handbook, which I have given in everyone's packet. Okay? There's a lot of changes to the handbook this year. So if you haven't read it in a couple years, please look at it. We've updated many sections. There is an appendix to the handbook. The reason for this, there are some things we want to be able to tell you, but we do not want published on our website or through the state of Kansas and things like that. For example, the emergency procedures and detailed things about our attendance and truancy policy. Some of those things we have to keep out of the handbook, but we want you to know about. Okay? So it's not going to be in that handbook, but it's at the end. I don't know why, but we have to do that. And the school office. Okay, if you need rules and procedures, you want to know what's the dress code again, or how's your attendance policy. You don't have the handbook. You don't want a whole big handbook. Just come to the office. We have the individual pages of each one of those ready to give you. Okay, absences. Very big change this year on absences. Okay, and attendance. This is the main stress of this meeting because I do not want to be calling truancy on 15 of our families in September because some of our coming 10 minutes late every single day, nonstop, no matter what, some of that is going to really add up this year into real consequences. So I want you guys to be aware of it now. That's why we made this mandatory. So, excused absences, please call by 8:15 if your child will be absent. It really helps us. As soon as, in the mornings, Lisa puts out a thing for the teachers at breakfast time, about 9 o'clock every day. It says who's there every day, and it says who's not there. So if Mr. Apier has his Earth Space Science class in the middle of the day, he knows that Timothy Waller's not there today, okay, and he has a good reason why. It saves us having to communicate back and forth, and so if you do have an excused absence, death in the family, your son's going to the doctor, or something like that, please call and let us know. Don't let us know afterwards. Try to call before 8:15 if your kid's going to be absent. Unexcused absences include truancy, suspension, missing school rides, trips not approved by the school administration, and alarm clock failures. This is the technical definition of truancy per Kansas Department of Education. 3 consecutive school days absent, 5 school days absent in a semester, or 7 in a year. That means if you had 7 in a course of a whole year, that's only like 1 a month. We're supposed to report you to the state as truant, and you're going to have a social worker show up at your house to investigate. Okay? So, now the truth is it's not often on a mild case like this that they actually are going to come to your house and investigate. But we have had people in the past, if it's a gross truancy, we will be reporting. Okay, tardies. This is the new thing this year. First hour tardies is arriving at school after 8 a.m. We are treating this a little bit different than when you're just late coming in between classes. So a first hour tardy is really the fault of the parent, right? The parent brings the kid, or a student if he drives. Once a kid's here, if he's late coming back from lunch, that tardy is really the responsibility of the student. So we are going to trap them separately so we can see where the fault is, okay? So a minor tardy is something that the teachers will handle in their class with their own policies and procedures. This would be like the bell rings and the kid's running into his chair, the teacher's taking roll, but class hasn't started yet. We're not going to be trying to track that on a discipline on a school-wide level, but if Mr. Adams chooses that kid to lose a participation point that day because he wasn't there, that could be Mr. Adams' policy. A major tardy would be during school day arriving after the classroom door has been closed. All of our classroom doors will be locked at all times. They will be open during the 5-minute passing periods, or will be open when your kids are coming back from band in the elementary, or they know they're coming back from recess. But once class starts, the teachers will close their doors and the doors will be locked. So we'll have a locked classroom door inside of a locked school, okay? If a student is late coming back from band or lunch or something and the door's locked, that's when he will have to go to the office and get a tardy slip. That's how we'll track the student tardies, okay? We'll be tracking the 8 a.m. tardies because the front door of the school will be locked and we're going to have to buzz you in. So we're going to know whose kids that are. Okay, consequences, attendance. All right, we are going to be doing a point system this year with attendance, which basically means that the way we usually have been doing it is just kind of like trying to keep track of it and then seeing who the worst offender is and then trying to talk to them. We're just doing a math formula. Our new computer system that we're going to be talking about calculates that for us, and it's going to be really easy to track. So to enforce this policy, we've had a point system for attendances, absences, and tardies. So let's go over what that is. Point values. A prearranged physician's note absence is no points. So that is an excused tardy. We know you're going to an orthodontist appointment and you bring us back a note. You tell us your kid is sick before 8:15. You tell us your kid's sick in the morning. When next day he comes, you bring us the note that he went to the doctor. That does not count as an absence, okay? An absence which is not prearranged or excused with a physician's note is 1 point. This is the big change. So calling and letting us know that your kid is sick, he's going to stay home from school, all right? And he's not going to be here today, but even if you call, it's still an unexcused absence. We want to be able to track and see what the problem is. So we had a parent last year came from down south, was late 50 times during the year, not here anymore, because of a train. Well, guess what? Even though a train is not an excused absence, you got to find a different route to school. You got to get up and come earlier in the morning or something. You can't be late every day because of a train. So that train must be on a schedule. So you follow me? So tardy, which is prearranged or excused with a physician note, is 0 points. First hour tardy is going to be a half a point. So when you come to school late, that's going to count as a half a point on our consequences section. So at 3 points, we're going to send out a warning letter to the parents letting you know you're approaching a disciplinary time, okay? And it's going to have our attendance policy in there so you can get a refresher. So this means if you're late 6 times in one semester, you're going to get the warning letter. Or if you call in absent 3 times in a semester or any combination of that, you'll get the warning letter. At 5, we're going to have a conference with the student and the parent. At that conference, we will decide on a disciplinary action, whether it be if it is the student's fault. Let's say it's a high school student, the parent let them know, kid won't wake up in the morning. We're going to put that consequence on the student. If it's a parent, we'll let the parent know what's coming up next. At 7 is automatic in-school suspension for the kid for a day. We have a new room. It's in between me and Mr. Apier's office. It's basically storage room, which we've now fully put lockable file cabinets in, so we actually have not craziness in that room. And there's just a folding chair in there. And a kid who gets in-school suspension for discipline will simply just sit in there all day, okay? Not sleeping. He could work on his homework, but simply sitting in there all day on a folding chair. That would be the discipline for missing 7 days in one semester, grant you, okay? In one semester. That's a lot. No one should be missing that. Now realize that in this parent meeting, if it's a legitimate thing, I got mono, I got something like that, we can go through and change this, and we can have leniency. But if there isn't a good excuse, if there wasn't prearranged doctor's notes, if it doesn't seem like the kid's really a part of it, then he will get the consequence. And at 9 in one semester, an individualized plan. This is your last chance, okay? This is letting you know that we can't educate your kid. We're going to put on a behavior contract, and you'd basically go be signing something saying that you realize that one more absence this semester, your kid could be excused from the school, okay? We can't have families coming late every single day, and we can't have kids that just don't come to school. It doesn't, why are you paying for it? You guys are all paying. It's a tuition-based school. You should be coming, okay? Now, if it's something with the ride and we need to work out a carpool, I'll work my butt to work it off, okay? Work it out. We can do something like that. We want to problem solve at this conference with the individualized plan. We're going to problem solve and figure out what the error is and fix it, okay? Anyone who causes damage to the school facilities, equipment, books will be required to pay for the replacement costs. This includes losing your textbook. We've been so lenient on losing textbooks. Oh my gosh. We are wasting thousands of your dollars. The kids who don't lose a textbook, we have to increase your tuition to pay for the thousands of dollars in textbooks that we've been not getting back because people lose it. So we have a good system for tracking textbooks this year. Who has it? We're going to know. So if your kid loses a textbook, they're not expensive, but 20, 25, 30 bucks, you would be, now if a textbook wears out, they have about a 2-year life expectancy, we'll buy a new one if the cover rips off, okay? But if you lose it or if you don't know where it is, we really expect you to take care of your property. Books and equipment will be charged at replacement costs. If it's a hole in the wall or some damage like that, we will hire a professional company and you'll be paying the bill. All right, electronic devices. This is something parents might not know. Students know, but parents might not know. Cell phones are not allowed in school, okay? We realize that most of your kids have cell phones, even the elementary kids nowadays. So, if an electronic device is seen out, this includes cell phones, iPods, MP3 players. This includes in the class, hallways, libraries, chapels, and bathrooms. Now note, if the phone goes off in the classroom, or we walk into the bathroom in the middle of class time, and a kid's sitting there texting, we will confiscate the phone. If a student needs his phone for legitimate reasons, you realize you forgot your volleyball knee pads and you need to call your mom, go to the office. We will always let you call your parents, text your parents from your phone in the office, as long as we know what's going on. The reason we have to be strict with this, parents who don't know, cheating has become ridiculous with phones, okay? The kids are so good. They can text inside their hoodie the answers to their friends, okay? So we got to be really careful because we really don't want to have rampant cheating and distractions. We have had parents that come in and say, my kid got 200 text messages during school yesterday. I looked at his bill. He texted 200 times. So, if your kid's texting 200 times in a day, he's not learning anything, I guarantee it. Consequences. For all infractions, no warning. This is the warning. And the first day of school is the warning. We confiscate the phone. We keep it till the following Monday, okay? So it stays in our school safe, and you will get it back. The student or the parent can come pick it back up the next Monday. That way they always lose it for the weekend. On Monday, every year I give about 9 iPhones back to all of our international students and our high school kids, okay? And that's going to be our policy this year, and we're going to even be stricter on it. Closed campus. Just so you know, once a student is on campus, they are not leaving unless they're with their parent. If a student drives and they leave, they're leaving for the day. Now, after school, if a kid goes to Quick Shop, that's different. But we will not be allowing any teacher under any circumstance to take kids to Quick Shop this year. I know it's right there. It's convenient. Trust me, the kids start out every single class with, can I go to Quick Shop? Okay? But teachers will be made aware, and they do know that it is not okay for any reason, under any circumstance, even if your class all got straight A's on the spelling test, we will come up with a different reward system for them. Okay? We've also informed Quick Shop that if they see kids in our uniform during the day, to give us a call, okay? So, student drivers. We're going to have some new spaces. They're not painted yet, but I'm going to paint them this weekend. Hopefully I can get it done. I got a lot to do. But we're going to put we only have about 6 student drivers. We're going to put some blue parking spaces, okay, right by our flagpole, those front spaces right where we can see really easily, and all student drivers are going to be required to park there. So please do not park as a parent in any of the blue parking spaces, okay? Also, do not park in our bus parking space, okay? Their vehicles are off limits during the day. Now, if they forget their textbook in their vehicle and they get written permission from the office that they can go out to their car and we can watch them because we see where the car is, that's okay. But the last thing in the world we want is a kid going back and forth to his car every single hour. Who knows what's going on? Discipline. Shifting focus again. Teachers are going to have their own classroom discipline rules, which students' parents should learn and students should follow. Get to know your classroom rules. Teachers, okay, we don't have red tape in the school where we say teachers have to do every single thing just like this. We allow our teachers the flexibility and freedom to have their own classroom rules. There's obvious things that happen that are school rule violations, but talking in class and things like that, learn the consequences and the rules for your class, please. If a student needs to be sent to the office, which means the teacher tried his rules and he can't handle the student anymore. We've actually printed pre-printed labels of all your addresses, so it'll just be simple. Rip off the label. I'm going to pick a real good kid. But Corey gets in trouble, we rip off the label, we're going to put it in an envelope, put the label right on there, send the thing home. What the discipline form will look like is this. So on this, we will basically put what happened, what happened, what was the infraction, we'll sign it, we'll write comments if it need to be. This is something where we're going to let you know the little things, so you know as they're building up. What we constantly get from parents is we finally call a kid in because they've been disrespectful the 15th time, okay? But the parent says, how come I didn't know my kid got sent to the office 15 times for being disrespectful? The truth is every time something like that happens, we can't have a parent conference. So we're going to build these up and make you aware of them. Now, certainly, you get one of these and you want to come in and find out what happened, you can come in. But once it becomes out of control, all right, where a kid has been sent to the office 3, 4, 5 times in a semester, then we can have a meeting, and through this, we'll kind of see what's going on. Maybe we figure out that always first hour in the morning with the same teacher, this kid's getting in trouble. Well, maybe it's a problem between the kid and the teacher that needs to be solved. Or maybe your student needs to wake up a little bit earlier because they're in a bad mood in the morning or get better sleep, okay? So we're going to use these to try to pinpoint the problems a little quicker. Consequences. They will include verbal reprimand in the student's file, detention at lunchtime or after school or Friday detentions, in-school suspension, out-of-school suspension, expulsion. We will use a discipline thing that we have, and we'll let you know what was given out. Dress and appearance. Basically, you know the dress code, follow it, refer to this if you need to. Drug testing. Obviously, this doesn't really apply to elementary parents. Hopefully not. We do have random drug testing during the school. If we get really good suspicion, okay, of drug testing through something on Facebook or whatever, the way we handle it this year is we're going to just call the parent, of course, and let them know what's going on. We'll take the student ourselves to a place, get them tested. If the test is negative, we'll pay for it ourselves. If it's positive, the parent will pay for it, and then we're going to talk. You understand? Okay. This is a new policy, sleeping in class. We obviously have always had a no sleeping in class policy, but we've been, a little lax on that from time to time. Absolutely not okay. Kids should be able to stay awake 7 hours a day, 4 days a week during school. Eligibility for sports. If you have a failing grade or more than 1D, you are ineligible for any sport. We will be checking this. I am the athletic director this year. My assistant is my brother. We'll be checking this on a weekly basis. You cannot play a sport if you are ineligible. Hallway passes. Since we just bought atomic clocks for our classrooms and office and gym. So all the clocks in the school are synchronized, which means that everyone should be in the classroom when they're supposed to be and in the hallway when they're supposed to be. So if you need to go to the bathroom or anything, your kids will be given a hall pass. They'll need to have that with them. Okay? Lunch program. If you have any questions about the lunch program, we do have, a parent came to me the other day and said, I would have qualified for free lunches last year. I didn't know about it. That's one of the reasons we're having this meeting. That cost that parent $400, and I feel terrible for it because they paid the lunches the whole year. We have the free and reduced lunch program, which in the income guidelines have just been raised significantly. So even a family of 4 that has a pretty good job sometimes qualifies for the reduced lunches. So please check the income guidelines. Fill out an app if you wish to. Public displays of affection. This goes without saying. People put their kid in a Christian school. We're going to let the parents choose dating rules and things like that. But if you as a parent want to have strict rules for your kid, like I don't want my kid having a girlfriend or a boyfriend, you let us know, and we will be a team player with you, letting you know if the only person your son talks to is the same girl 10 hours a day. You follow us? We'll let you know that, then you can police that at home. And public displays of affection are not okay. Good rule of thumb is a 6-inch rule. It's hugging a girl hi and goodbye every single day. If you're a boy and you do that with all 100 girls in the school, that's something that we're going to be completely cutting out this year. Visitor policy, this includes parents, okay? If you are coming to visit your kid's birthday party, something like that, even though the administration knows who you are, we want the other parents who might be there to feel comfortable about Sean walking through the hallway, okay? That he's supposed to be there, all right? So we're asking everyone to check into the office to get a visitor badge, just a little simple badge. Our air conditioner guy will wear them when he's here and things like that. Just do this just to increase and help security. Emergency procedures. Basically, fire, tornado, and then some of these you're not going to know, okay? Kansas has been doing a lot of new things this year, educating schools. We went to conferences. We went to this thing at Trinity with all the schools, and all the schools are using the same terminology. That way, if the police ever hear for emergency, we're kind of all on the same page, and they don't have to relearn the way our school does something. So lockdown, shelter in place, and evacuation on the bottom, okay? That's not something we print in the handbook for obvious security reasons. Anyone who might want to do something bad, we don't want them to be able to plan. But we'll quickly go over what they are. Fire drill, we are going to commit to doing fire drills quarterly, okay? We know how to pull the alarm, do the whole thing now. If you want a detailed thing on what happens on a fire drill, you can read this. Tornado, we will be doing tornado drills before spring and fall tornado seasons. Again, if you want detailed knowledge of how they work, please read this. Lockdown is like, let me explain what lockdown is. Lockdown's like, we hear something else happens at another school, okay, 2 miles from here. The police call us and say, you're not in danger, but something could be going on. You just put yourself in lockdown mode. What happens in a lockdown? Simply, we lock the school, lock the classrooms. School goes on as normal. We just don't have recess. We don't have band or lunch or anything that takes you outside of the classroom. The classroom goes on as normal. USD 259 goes into lockdown weekly, because they go into lockdown when something happens in any school around them, a big incident or whatever. Shelter in place is basically worst case scenario. We're locked down, locking and hiding in the classroom. Okay, and you know what's happening in the world nowadays. Even though it's never going to happen here, that's what every school says. Okay, so just know we're training for it. Teachers are giving tests about what to do. And it's why we're increasing the security of the schools so strictly. Full school evacuation is basically new, but it's active bad person in the school going from classroom to classroom. Instead of hiding, the new thing is, after the new town, is they're asking schools to actually do a full evacuation. Similar to a fire drill, we leave just like that. You just ask everyone to sprint. And we will go next door to the police training facility. We've worked out with them, probably no safer place than going where there's 50 police officers next door. So we're going to go there if we had to do an evacuation. Parents, teachers know which route to take for which classroom. Okay? Cameras. Put in lots of cameras this summer. Thank you, Mr. Patchett. Okay. The purpose of these cameras is not to say gotcha on a teacher or gotcha on a kid. It's to stop vandalism, stop things that happen after school. But also, if we do have an incident of cheating and the kid says, no, I did not, there's no way, and the teacher says, yes, I did, I can show you, as a parent, your own kid cheating on camera, okay? So, cameras look like this. We got it from our phones, we can get it from our computer, and we have cameras in every single classroom and in the gym and throughout the building. It's a sad thing, but we had thefts last year of iPhones and other things. We're hoping to be able to stop that. Honor roll. We're adding an actual honor roll where you'll get a reward this year. This is a good thing. We talked about bad things. It's a good thing. B honor roll for a semester. All B's are higher. You're going to get on the Waltz Fire honor roll. All A's are higher, the presidential honor roll. There'll be a reward, a fun party for all the kids that get on the honor roll, and a certificate given out to the parents. How to check grades, okay? Grades.waltz.org. This is one of the most important parts of this meeting. Grades.waltz.org. You all have the handout. Everyone knows how to do it now. It's so easy. Username is going to be the first name dot last name. For example, Lisa Wayner would be lisa.wayner, and the password would be password. So once in, please change your password, because it's not going to be that hard to go robert.rotola, do password, and see what Natalie's grades are, or Annie's grades are. You understand? So if you want to protect your own kids' grades, you need to log into the system, and you need to change the password to something that only you know. It's on you. Okay? Parent expectations. We expect parents to check their students' grades online. We expect you to read your emails and newsletters. You're not getting it more than once a week. and something is wrong, please see Lisa. Please inform administration if you're unhappy for any reason. We expect you to give us feedback. I cannot stand when someone smiles at me all year. In the very end of the year, they say they were just unhappy the whole year, they hated the school, something like that. Let us know. Give us a chance to fix a problem, if there is one. Sometimes the problem is just ignorance. Okay. We expect you to bring your kids on time. We expect you, this is a big one, do not text or call your kids during the day. So often, the reason we confiscate a kid's phone is because their own parent is texting or calling them. That's the majority of the reason. Because all their friends are also in class. So, if you don't want your kids to be mad at you, don't text and call them. Call the office. We expect you to come to parent-teacher conferences. Okay? We expect it. It's on the calendar. You got 3 months to plan for the first one. We expect you to come, please. Fridays are reserved for personal tutoring with students and teachers, teachers grading and lesson planning, staff meetings and in-service times, doctor's appointments, getting caught up, or going ahead in the curriculum. If a student has a D or an F in any subjects, we will require them to come in on Friday to get caught up. If you fail to bring in your student here on Friday, you are missing the best tool that we have to help your kid get back on the right track. So if we say your kid's failing and he needs to be here on Friday, you would pay $50 an hour probably to go to Sylvan Learning Center and get an hour tutoring, and we're going to give it to you for free. Okay? So if your kid's falling behind and we call you and you don't show up, you are missing the best chance. You're paying for it. It's part of your tuition. Please use it. Fridays might be used sparingly the first few weeks until we know who needs to be here and not be here. Even if you're not called to come in, you can come in and get tutoring with your teacher. So you don't have to be called. Please make an appointment for tutoring. Some teachers are more available for walk-ins. Some are by appointment only. These teachers, you really need to make an appointment, either because they're part-time or they have responsibilities on Fridays other than just tutoring. So if your kid is in one of these teachers, please call. These teachers really need to make an appointment. These teachers, you really can just walk in, okay? You do make an appointment if you're going to come, but you can walk in. They'll be in their room. Fridays are not for babysitting, socialization, sleeping, or being taught lessons missed by unexcused absences. This is a big one. This happens all the time. Fridays are for kids that really need one-on-one tutoring. They really need to know how to write that history paper. They need to learn how to divide fractions. You follow me? Friday times, building will open at 8 on Fridays. We will have a staff meeting from 8 to 9. Teachers' office hours will be 9 to 11:30 and 12:30 to 3. So if you show up at noon, it might be at lunch, okay? We have to eat. So know that we have two different two and a half hour and a 2 hour block where our teachers are in the room working on their grading, working on their lesson planning, and are available for tutoring. Elementary students cannot be left in the building without attendance. If a middle and high school student is dropped off, we realize that we don't want them in the building all day. If you can arrange to drop them off and pick them back up an hour later, please do. We realize with rides, sometimes that's not possible. If they are respectful after they're done with their teachers, they can go in the gym, they can have lunch, they can hang out. But if they're causing problems or disrespectful, leaving a mess, we will not allow them to stay in the building. Thank you for coming. Hope that helped a little bit. I understand I flew through a lot of that. Thank you very much for being here.